Welcome to Overcomers Talk. I am your host, Minister Carrie Ann Frazier, and today we're talking about overcoming the fear of failure. We're talking about business, being business-minded. And as an entrepreneur myself, I am so excited about the show and the panelists that we have here today. First, let's give honor to the visionaries of Overcomers panel, and that is none other than Senior Pastor Dr. Lincoln Coffey and Assistant Pastor First Lady April Coffey. I hope you are still enjoying your break, and we will see you next week. I am joined this week by my co-host, my lovely, my beautiful, my intelligent co-host, and that is Dr. Sharita McQueen. Yes, we're talking about business today. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Because you yourself are a business owner.
I am a business owner.
Yes, yes. And so we're talking about overcoming the fear of failure. And I think particularly when we think about business, we think about this COVID pandemic that we have been living in. And some businesses have been able to be innovative and move to a virtual platform pretty much I would say effortlessly.
I don't know about effortlessly.
Well, some of them. Some businesses transitioned really, really well, but other businesses had a lot of concerns or adverse. It impacted other businesses adversely. It did. So today, what we're talking to local business owners right here in our community. Some of those who have been in businesses for over 30 years, and others who are brand new to entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about the highs, the lows, the sideways, the all arounds. We're talking about business. So make sure you grab a friend, okay? Share this. If you know a business owner, if you yourself are interested in starting a business, this is the show for you. You're going to get some nuggets today about business. You're going to understand some of the pitfalls, right? Some of the challenges, and then some of the pluses of being an entrepreneur. So make sure you stay tuned in its entirety. All right? So you ready to meet our guest?
I'm ready.
I am so ready. I am.
Yes.
So right next to me, we have, starting with Miss Nancy Pettaway. And so, Miss Nancy, can you tell us a little bit about your business, what business you're in?
Hello, I am the dark and lovely Nancy Pettaway.
Okay.
I'm actually a senior executive sales director with Mary Kay Cosmetics.
Okay. Hence the beautiful makeup.
Thank you. But really wanting to represent just being in business and indirect sales. Because direct sales is one of those businesses that if you don't quite understand what's going on, the mind will not lead you down that path. And I've been in business for 34 years. It'll be 35 years in February.
Almost 35 years in business?
Yes.
So is that 35 years with Mary Kay or?
That's 35 years with Mary Kay.
Wow.
Okay.
It's the only direct sales business I've ever been in.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So you drive one of those pink cars?
I do.
Yeah, it's outside.
You know I love pink. I love pink. That's my favorite color. So I
Yes.
definitely need to hear more of your relationship with Mary Kay, because essentially that's what it is now, right?
Yes.
Your business is a relationship. I would love to hear more about it as the show continues. Thank you so much for being here,
Thank you
Ms.
for having
Pettaway.
me. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Next to Ms. Pettaway, we have Mr. Richard Bruce, and you are also a businessman here in the area. Can you tell us a little bit your business, sir?
Yes, ma'am. My business is called Appointed Worldwide Holdings, LLC.
Okay.
And I serve as the CEO of that company. We're a logistics company where we bid on government contracts all around the world, and we can get awarded those contracts.
Okay.
In the sense of a true holdings company, our company will hold bits and pieces of other companies so that we can form 100%. And 100% is 100%. If it's 10% here, 10% there, 10% there, it still equals 100%. So the goal is to equal 100%. I'm also a financial advisor by trade, Series 6 and 63 licensed for over 15 years.
Okay.
And I've been in business for about 20 years. I do Forex trading, financial planning, and business.
And just all kinds
Yes,
of. So it sounds to me like he's the money man. So I definitely want to hear a lot more about your business acumen. This sounds very interesting, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so we have two very different. We have
I'm
direct
ready.
sales.
I'm ready.
And then we have some, I call it deep pocket money.
Yes.
Okay. And so right next to him, we have Mr. Ronnie Russell.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Russell, thank you so much for joining us. And let's hear a little bit about your business.
Now, I got to outdo the other two now, just playing.
Go for it.
Me, myself, I'm retired military. I did 22
thank
years
you for your service.
In the service, and I couldn't wait to get out where I can grow my beard out and stuff. But my path with entrepreneurship started in 2004.
Okay.
But since I've been here in Texas, I've launched Texas Black Pages, which is a statewide Black business directory. The state of Texas has 254 counties. So we reach out and then we pull in here in the 254. That's why it was special. There's 254 counties.
Oh, wow.
But we're headquartered in 254.
Oh, wow. Okay, I like that. I like that. The 254. Okay.
Right. Yes, ma'am. And I'm also the founder of the Innovation Black Chamber of Commerce, which is headquartered again here near the largest Army installation, which is Fort Hood.
Okay, so Killeen, the city of Killeen, this is where you're housed,
Yes, ma'am.
is doing some big things.
Yes.
So it started off the Texas Black Pages, as well as the Innovative Black Chamber of Commerce, also known as IBCC.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us, Mr. Russell. And then we're also joined here on the panel by Mr. Ben O'Neill. Mr. O'Neill, would you tell us a little bit about your business?
Yes, I started off in the car business about 4 years ago. I owned Quality Autoplex, and then I transitioned to open up 2 different businesses at the same time, which is Simply Good Burgers and Killeen Food Park, which we've been in business for about a year. So I'm definitely enjoying it. So.
Okay, so you started off in automotive, and is that
Yes.
automotive sales?
Sales,
or-
yes.
Okay.
I was in management, finance director for probably about 10 years, general manager about another 6, 7, and then I opened up my own car dealership from there.
Okay, so you had your own car dealership, and then Simply Good Burgers.
Yes.
So that means the burgers have to be good.
Oh, my
The only way.
Exceptional.
It's all
You've
in the
had
name.
it?
Oh, yes, several times.
Okay, so I
Yes.
need to try the
Yeah,
Simply. Did
definitely.
you bring me a burger to sample so I can vouch how good they are?
No, we make them fresh to order.
Good comeback.
So you make them fresh to order.
Fresh
Okay.
to order.
Okay, and then you also the food truck park here,
Yes.
Killeen Food Truck Park
Yes.
here in Killeen. Now you look like you're 12. Not that I
bit
want to
older.
know your age, but okay. So we have about a year in business, up to 30, almost 35
34,
years
yeah,
in business.
35.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
impressed.
I am too. So what a spread. So we have a wealth of experience here
yes.
on this panel tonight. So I just know that you're going to get some good nuggets tonight about business. Like you heard, almost 35 years in direct sales. So for those of you who think it's a pyramid scheme, I don't know what to do, listen, okay? She's going to tell you some of the pitfalls, the pluses, the minuses, and how she sustained 34 years in direct sales. And then also opening up your own. This is a restaurant. I hear a car dealership, and then I also hear some deep pocket money things going on here. Okay? All right, so I am very interested to know, when you think of Mary Kay Cosmetics, right, oftentimes you're thinking about you have to, have parties to have individuals buy the makeup, and then, they have to bring somebody in and bring someone else. Can you tell us what is the business of Mary Kay Cosmetics?
Well, when I started Mary Kay back 34 years ago, I had spent 7.5 years in the military. I got out of the military, went to work for this company in Fort Worth as the assistant manager of employees relations. And I met a lady. She came over. She gave me a facial. I loved the product. She invited me to an event. I went to the event. I signed my agreement. I became a consultant. Now, bad acne and all, I became a consultant.
Wait a minute, you had bad acne? I'm looking at her skin.
I've had bad acne
can't
since
tell.
I was 13 years old.
Oh, wow.
And nothing ever cleared my skin up, but when she came to give me the facial, I absolutely loved it. And you know what? When it comes down to it, anytime you do anything in direct sales, when they said, do anybody want to join? I just signed up because I wanted to come back to the classes.
Right.
They had taught a class on time management and goal setting, which was something I had never heard in that realm before. So that's why I signed my agreement and I became a consultant. Never did I think that I was going to do anything, but to my surprise and everybody else's, 2 months later, I resigned from my full-time job to work my business full-time.
Wow.
Because they were having fun. And I'm just going to honestly tell you, it's my nature to have fun. That's why I love the parties. And that's what we do. We go and we do parties and we share with other people how the product works and what the product does. And the cool thing that I love about it is that they buy it if they want to.
Yeah.
And they
but
don't
it's
have
more
to
than
if
a
they don't
party,
want to.
though.
Oh, it's definitely more than
it's
a
more
party.
like a relationship.
It's totally
Right?
a relationship.
Yeah.
It's totally a relationship. And for me, my business have become a ministry. And that's the part that I absolutely love about it. That when I go into the homes, and it's more than cosmetics, it's more than, it's a skincare company. And I always say, wear makeup because you want to, not because you have to.
Right.
By taking good care of your skin. Because, I heard this saying, and I was like, that is so true. Your makeup cannot be at a 10 when your skin is at a 2. So you have to just take really good care of your skin so you wear it because you want to and not because you have to. Right. The thing about being in direct sales, what people sometimes misunderstand, I think a lot, is the crab in the barrel type business. Because if you stay focused on what you're doing and obey the rules of the game and play the game by the rules, you win.
There's rules.
Yeah.
There's rules.
I think there's rules to all businesses. It's just a matter of having
Like you
the
said,
discipline,
the crab in the barrel.
right?
So
to follow
that's what
that
I
rule.
see a lot of.
Yeah. I would love to hear. I would love to hear more
Definitely.
about that. And I think that the nugget that I really took away is that enjoying what you do,
Enjoying it.
and really enjoying what you do, and then for you, it's a form of ministry.
Yeah.
And
Right?
learning what it is that you're doing. A lot of people just want to get rich. That's why they do that whole get rich quick. I don't think any business is a get rich quick. Well, okay. I don't think any legal business is a get rich quick.
Legal. Good comeback.
Because
Good save.
simply because anything that you do, it takes time.
Right.
And sometimes people do want to get rich really quick when really it's a process.
I like that. That's the nugget about the process, and we're going to go deeper into that.
Right, but what made you quit? You said after 2 weeks you quit?
2 months.
2
Was it 2
months?
months?
2 months. So you were still brand new to it. I'm sure you hadn't learned everything that you wanted to learn. So what was it that made you confident enough to say, I'm going to quit my 9 to 5 and I'm going to do this full time?
Well, I had gone into work and I looked at the people that were training me, and one lady had been there 16 years, another lady had been there 13 years.
Okay.
And I just took a look at them and I was just thinking, I
I
cannot
don't wanna
do
be
this.
here. I won't be here 18 years.
And seeing what I had seen
Okay.
in my business.
Welcome to Overcomers Talk. I am your host, Minister Carrie Ann Frazier, and today we're talking about overcoming the fear of failure. We're talking about business, being business-minded. And as an entrepreneur myself, I am so excited about the show and the panelists that we have here today. First, let's give honor to the visionaries of Overcomers panel, and that is none other than Senior Pastor Dr. Lincoln Coffey and Assistant Pastor First Lady April Coffey. I hope you are still enjoying your break, and we will see you next week. I am joined this week by my co-host, my lovely, my beautiful, my intelligent co-host, and that is Dr. Sharita McQueen. Yes, we're talking about business today. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Because you yourself are a business owner.
I am a business owner.
Yes, yes. And so we're talking about overcoming the fear of failure. And I think particularly when we think about business, we think about this COVID pandemic that we have been living in. And some businesses have been able to be innovative and move to a virtual platform pretty much I would say effortlessly.
I don't know about effortlessly.
Well, some of them. Some businesses transitioned really, really well, but other businesses had a lot of concerns or adverse. It impacted other businesses adversely. It did. So today, what we're talking to local business owners right here in our community. Some of those who have been in businesses for over 30 years, and others who are brand new to entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about the highs, the lows, the sideways, the all arounds. We're talking about business. So make sure you grab a friend, okay? Share this. If you know a business owner, if you yourself are interested in starting a business, this is the show for you. You're going to get some nuggets today about business. You're going to understand some of the pitfalls, right? Some of the challenges, and then some of the pluses of being an entrepreneur. So make sure you stay tuned in its entirety. All right? So you ready to meet our guest?
I'm ready.
I am so ready. I am.
Yes.
So right next to me, we have, starting with Miss Nancy Pettaway. And so, Miss Nancy, can you tell us a little bit about your business, what business you're in?
Hello, I am the dark and lovely Nancy Pettaway.
Okay.
I'm actually a senior executive sales director with Mary Kay Cosmetics.
Okay. Hence the beautiful makeup.
Thank you. But really wanting to represent just being in business and indirect sales. Because direct sales is one of those businesses that if you don't quite understand what's going on, the mind will not lead you down that path. And I've been in business for 34 years. It'll be 35 years in February.
Almost 35 years in business?
Yes.
So is that 35 years with Mary Kay or?
That's 35 years with Mary Kay.
Wow.
Okay.
It's the only direct sales business I've ever been in.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So you drive one of those pink cars?
I do.
Yeah, it's outside.
You know I love pink. I love pink. That's my favorite color. So I
Yes.
definitely need to hear more of your relationship with Mary Kay, because essentially that's what it is now, right?
Yes.
Your business is a relationship. I would love to hear more about it as the show continues. Thank you so much for being here,
Thank you
Ms.
for having
Pettaway.
me. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Next to Ms. Pettaway, we have Mr. Richard Bruce, and you are also a businessman here in the area. Can you tell us a little bit your business, sir?
Yes, ma'am. My business is called Appointed Worldwide Holdings, LLC.
Okay.
And I serve as the CEO of that company. We're a logistics company where we bid on government contracts all around the world, and we can get awarded those contracts.
Okay.
In the sense of a true holdings company, our company will hold bits and pieces of other companies so that we can form 100%. And 100% is 100%. If it's 10% here, 10% there, 10% there, it still equals 100%. So the goal is to equal 100%. I'm also a financial advisor by trade, Series 6 and 63 licensed for over 15 years.
Okay.
And I've been in business for about 20 years. I do Forex trading, financial planning, and business.
And just all kinds
Yes, all kind of business.
So it sounds to me like he's the money man. So I definitely want to hear a lot more about your business acumen. This sounds very interesting, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so we have two very different. We have direct sales.
I'm ready.
And then we have some, I call it deep pocket money.
Yes.
Okay. And so right next to him, we have Mr. Ronnie Russell.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Russell, thank you so much for joining us. And let's hear a little bit about your business.
Now, I got to outdo the other two now, just playing.
Go for it.
Me, myself, I'm retired military. I did 22 years.
Thank you for your service.
In the service, and I couldn't wait to get out where I can grow my beard out and stuff. But my path with entrepreneurship started in 2004.
Okay.
But since I've been here in Texas, I've launched Texas Black Pages, which is a statewide Black business directory. The state of Texas has 254 counties. So we reach out and then we pull in here in the 254. That's why it was special. There's 254 counties.
Oh, wow.
But we're headquartered in 254.
Oh, wow. Okay, I like that. I like that. The 254. Okay.
Right. Yes, ma'am. And I'm also the founder of the Innovation Black Chamber of Commerce, which is headquartered again here near the largest Army installation, which is Fort Hood.
Okay, so Killeen, the city of Killeen, this is where you're housed,
Yes, ma'am.
is doing some big things.
Yes.
So it started off the Texas Black Pages, as well as the Innovative Black Chamber of Commerce, also known as IBCC.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us, Mr. Russell. And then we're also joined here on the panel by Mr. Ben O'Neill. Mr. O'Neill, would you tell us a little bit about your business?
Yes, I started off in the car business about 4 years ago. I owned Quality Autoplex, and then I transitioned to open up two different businesses at the same time, which is Simply Good Burgers and Killeen Food Park, which we've been in business for about a year. So I'm definitely enjoying it. So.
Okay, so you started off in automotive, and is that
Yes.
automotive sales?
Sales,
or-
yes.
Okay.
I was in management, finance director for probably about 10 years, general manager about another 6, 7, and then I opened up my own car dealership from there.
Okay, so you had your own car dealership, and then Simply Good Burgers.
Yes.
So that means the burgers have to be good.
Oh, my
The only way.
Exceptional.
It's all
You've
in the
had
name.
it?
Oh, yes, several times.
Okay, so I
Yes.
need to try the
Yeah,
Simply.
definitely.
Did you bring me a burger to sample so I can vouch how good they are?
No, we make them fresh to order.
Good comeback.
So you make them fresh to order.
Fresh
Okay.
to order.
Okay, and then you also the food truck park here,
Yes.
Killeen Food Truck Park
Yes.
here in Killeen. Now you look like you're 12. Not that I
bit
want to
older.
know your age, but okay. So we have about a year in business, up to 30, almost 35 years in business.
35.
Wow.
I'm
wow.
impressed.
I am too. So what a spread. So we have a wealth of experience here
yes.
on this panel tonight. So I just know that you're going to get some good nuggets tonight about business. Like you heard, almost 35 years in direct sales. So for those of you who think it's a pyramid scheme, I don't know what to do, listen, okay? She's going to tell you some of the pitfalls, the pluses, the minuses, and how she sustained 34 years in direct sales. And then also opening up your own. This is a restaurant. I hear a car dealership, and then I also hear some deep pocket money things going on here. Okay? All right, so I am very interested to know, when you think of Mary Kay Cosmetics, right, oftentimes you're thinking about you have to, have parties to have individuals buy the makeup, and then, they have to bring somebody in and bring someone else. Can you tell us what is the business of Mary Kay Cosmetics?
Well, when I started Mary Kay back 34 years ago, I had spent 7.5 years in the military. I got out of the military, went to work for this company in Fort Worth as the assistant manager of employees relations. And I met a lady. She came over. She gave me a facial. I loved the product. She invited me to an event. I went to the event. I signed my agreement. I became a consultant. Now, bad acne and all, I became a consultant.
Wait a minute, you had bad acne? I'm looking at her skin.
I've had bad acne
can't
since
tell.
I was 13 years old.
Oh, wow.
And nothing ever cleared my skin up, but when she came to give me the facial, I absolutely loved it. And you know what? When it comes down to it, anytime you do anything in direct sales, when they said, do anybody want to join? I just signed up because I wanted to come back to the classes.
Right.
They had taught a class on time management and goal setting, which was something I had never heard in that realm before. So that's why I signed my agreement and I became a consultant. Never did I think that I was going to do anything, but to my surprise and everybody else's, 2 months later, I resigned from my full-time job to work my business full-time because they were having fun. And I'm just going to honestly tell you, it's my nature to have fun. That's why I love the parties. And that's what we do. We go and we do parties and we share with other people how the product works and what the product does. And the cool thing that I love about it is that they buy it if they want to.
Yeah.
And they
but
don't
it's
have
more
to
than
if
a
they don't
party,
want to.
though.
Oh, it's definitely more than a
more
party.
like a relationship.
It's totally
right?
a relationship.
Yeah.
It's totally a relationship. And for me, my business have become a ministry. And that's the part that I absolutely love about it. That when I go into the homes, and it's more than cosmetics. It's more than, it's a skincare company. And I always say, wear makeup because you want to, not because you have to.
Right.
By taking good care of your skin. Because, I heard this saying, and I was like, that is so true. Your makeup cannot be at a 10 when your skin is at a 2. So you have to just take really good care of your skin so you wear it because you want to and not because you have to. Right. The thing about being in direct sales, what people sometimes misunderstand, I think a lot, is the crab in the barrel type business. Because if you stay focused on what you're doing and obey the rules of the game and play the game by the rules, you win.
There's rules.
There's rules. I think there's rules to all businesses. It's just a matter of having the discipline.
The crab in the barrel.
Right.
So
to follow
that's
that
I see a lot of.
Yeah. I would love to hear. I would love to hear more about that. And I think that the nugget that I really took away is that enjoying what you do,
enjoying it,
and really enjoying what you do, and then for you, it's a form of ministry.
And learning what it is that you're doing. A lot of people just want to get rich. That's why they do that whole get rich quick. I don't think any business is a get rich quick. Well, okay. I don't think any legal business is a get rich quick.
Legal. Good comeback.
Because simply because anything that you do, it takes time.
Right.
And sometimes people do want to get rich really quick when really it's a process.
I like that. That's the nugget about the process, and we're going to go deeper into that.
Right, but what made you quit? You said after 2 weeks you quit?
2 months.
2 months?
2 months.
2 months. So you were still brand new to it. I'm sure you hadn't learned everything that you wanted to learn. So what was it that made you confident enough to say, I'm going to quit my 9 to 5 and I'm going to do this full time?
Well, I had gone into work and I looked at the people that were training me, and one lady had been there 16 years, another lady had been there 13 years.
Okay.
And I just took a look at them and I was just thinking, I cannot do this.
I won't be here at 18 years.
And seeing what I had seen in my business, and the people were having fun and loving on each other, and it was just, everything we did was just fun and positive and inspirational. So I was like, you know what?
Wow.
I'm going to try this. I'm going to put my hand at this. And
so it was truly a passion, a calling, and ministry.
I like to think that it was a calling.
Isn't she just beautiful? Just beautiful. And I mean, it just, that beauty and ministry just resonates from you. I will say that. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're appointed Worldwide Holdings. The tongue twister. I want to make sure that I get it right. Tell us a little bit more about your company.
Well, Appointed Worldwide Holdings is, again, a holdings company, but we procure contracts.
Right.
So government contracts consist.
So what kind of contracts are you getting?
An array of different contracts.
Okay.
We specialize in waste to power, alternative energy, renewable energy type contracts, different contracts like PPE. We had to shift because there's a big calling for PPE material that's going on right now.
And so for people who don't know what PPE is, can you let us know what that is?
PPE is the protective gear and materials that they need right now. The masks, the gloves.
Right, for COVID.
Yeah, COVID-19 type materials.
Okay, so your company would be a contractor for those things, or you have contract or?
Well, yes, we would secure the contract, and then sub the work out to qualified companies that can secure the deal, that can produce what is needed. And so it's very efficient because the people that are qualified, this is the industry they're already in. And those are the types of people that we sub to do the work that we get awarded the contract for.
Okay. So you just win the contract.
Correct.
That's your main focus, is to win the contract.
Right.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Wow. Okay. There was more. So that was one of the businesses that you said.
There's more.
Yes.
There was also a financial advisor and then
stocks and bonds and
trader.
Forex.
Yes. I'm a licensed financial advisor by trade with the state of Texas. And Series 6 and 63 licensed.
What does that mean?
That means I'm able to trade mutual funds, IRAs, retirement plans, and then
so you help people
companies.
Save money and make money.
Yes, ma'am.
I like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I like it too, and that's why I got into business, was helping people. You know, my interest was helping other people become successful and understanding what it's going to take to get them there.
Okay.
And so, in a lot of my training in the early years, I was away from stocks. I was away from the quick money because there's a whole lot of risk with that. And with that risk, there's a lot of reward also. And most of the people that invest in the stock market don't know what they're doing. So 98% of the people don't make money. Only 2% make money and 98% lose money. So as a financial advisor, I can't advise people to put their money into something that's risky. I got the opportunity to learn about Forex trading and commodities trading and understanding how to predict what the market is going to do using an algorithm. And the algorithm, again, allows you to predict. Well, if you could figure out what Facebook or Google was going to do tomorrow, that gives you an edge. And so by having that edge and being able to perfect that edge can be a huge advantage if you have the foresight and the understanding to be disciplined with your money. And so doing that currency trading is very lucrative.
Awesome.
Now, that's not an area that, or I don't know anybody in that field, so I don't know.
Yes.
But what was it that made you want to go into that field? That's a really specific and particular field. And
Well,
like you said, the reward and you know what you could lose and what you could gain is so far apart.
Right.
So what was it that attracted you to that field?
The opportunity to make money.
even though the risk was high.
Even though the risk was high, the opportunity to make money.
Okay.
And so, you know, millions and even billions are made on the Forex market. So when you look at the opportunity, that opportunity was worth looking into for me.
Wow.
And so I saw it as something that was worth entertaining and doing the research on to figure out what I needed to do to position myself to be a strategic trader.
Okay.
Now, is this something that you went to school for? Is this something that developed in business?
Yes, it's something that developed in business.
Okay.
I didn't go to school for it, and that's one of the great things about this world that we live in, you know, especially in America. You know, this is the home of the free, the land of the brave, and we're able to learn anything nowadays and become what you want to become. And so, in essence, you can actually get yourself out of a predicament if you just do the necessary steps that it takes to perfect your craft, to learn, and be the master of your trade.
Now, here's that process again.
Right.
The same thing that Miss Nancy said, process, loving what you're doing, and now I'm hearing the really working your craft.
Right.
Okay? All right, so we're getting some nuggets on discipline.
This is good.
This is the bottom word on discipline. So if you are looking to get into business, if you are an entrepreneur now, if you're struggling, if you have any ideas for a business, this is the show that you absolutely need to tune in right now, and do not turn that channel. Well, it's not a channel. Don't you turn that Facebook or YouTube off. Make sure that you stay tuned, because you're getting some nuggets here from individuals who've been in business for over 20 years. Not just business, but successful business, and that's quite a difference, right? Being in business and being in business successfully, being able to sustain business. Once again, we're joined by Nancy Pettaway, by Richard Bruce, Ronnie Russell, and Ben O'Neill, and we're talking about the fear of failure, overcoming the fear of failure
in business.
Business-minded. And so, Mr. Russell, we're to you. So that's the Texas Black Pages in the 254.
Yes, ma'am.
And all over Texas. and also the IBCC. So tell us a little bit about what is Texas Black Pages?
Texas Black Pages is an online business directory. It's not the only Black business directory here in the state of Texas, but it is the only Texas Black business directory, meaning we don't have any boundaries that we're set in. You know, there's a Houston Black Pages, there's a San Antonio Black, there's a North Texas Black business directory, but we pretty much take all states and we cross all counties.
Oh, wow.
The main thing with that is, you know, just like I'm sure I hear him say as well, but the other colleagues is helping people. You know, having the ability to have a platform to where you can say, okay, I'm going to Houston and let me see where I want to go before I get there. It's like creating a lead generation that's not a LinkedIn. It's like combining LinkedIn and Yelp and Facebook and put it all, well, not Facebook. Facebook is a social search engine, but this is more of a LinkedIn and a Yelp, but under one umbrella to where people can know where they want to go and are able to participate in the circulation of our wealth within our community itself.
So you're the connector.
Yes, ma'am.
Essentially, the connector, connected, and this is specific to to Black businesses in Texas, all over Texas.
I get plenty of text messages and emails. Do you know a Black contractor? You know a plumber or electrician? And I'm able to connect because Texas Black Pages itself has 6 strategic alliances where it's 6 of the 25 Black chambers of commerce here in the state of Texas. And we also have relationship with a lot of state agencies. And a lot of those relationships spilled over into IBCC. And it just began to help because, again, when you outline the fabric of your relationship, then it's not just about you. It becomes about us. And when we develop our we with Texas Black Pages, it made it easy for the development of the Innovation Black Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, so how did the Innovative Black Chamber of Commerce, I would say, come about? Was that a result of the Texas Black Pages, or?
I would say, I wouldn't call it a result.
Okay.
Because one of the things that I firmly believe in, without conviction, there would be no correction. Here in this city, there was no Black Chamber of Commerce. The closest Black Chamber of Commerce, we fall dead center between the Greater Austin Black Chamber of Commerce and the Syntex Black Chamber of Commerce in Waco. But yet we're co-located with the largest Army installation without a economic group of people that understand where we want to go. So that's where the development came from, having a conviction of why am I waiting for someone else to do something that I know that I can develop and get other like-minded individuals in the room and have a transparent conversation. So it came from being convicted on waiting for somebody else to do something that I know that I have the God-given ability to actually execute.
Now, where did Texas Black Pages come from? Did it come from everybody just asking you, do you know this, do you know that? So you said, you know what, let me put this into a business. So how did that come about?
I kept getting lost. I mean, to be honest, I was stationed in Hawaii before I came here, and it was a huge culture shock leaving Hawaii, where you can drive around the island and just keep going, and if you get lost, you just keep going. You know, but here, when I got here to Texas, and I didn't know where to go. I have no family here in Texas, and I didn't want the next soldier to come in and to feel like I felt. And in order for me to mitigate those feelings, I have to create something that is going to be mutually beneficial. You know, mutually beneficial for me is ensuring that someone is not feeling how I feel, and beneficial for them to know where I want to go, know where they want to go when they get here. And it just went from there. If I can help someone else to not feel how I felt when I got here,
know the feeling.
then I will accept that responsibility and I will execute that at all costs. And that's where it came from. My first year, I literally drove 57,000 miles because I know I had to develop relationships. I know I had to go to Houston. I know I had to go to El Paso, to Dallas, to Houston and Orange and Beaumont. I had to physically go out there. For those who know me, they were like, man, where are you at today? Oh, I'm in so-and-so. You can actually follow my social feeds and see where I am and then connect those dots. And I had to do that. Without me doing that, right now there's over 15,000 businesses within the directory itself.
Wow.
But in 2016, there was only 87.
Wow.
But
So
then I grew it from there.
So in 4 years, you went from 16 to over
15,000, yes, ma'am.
15,000. And what I hear is that you actually drove to all of the different locations.
Yes, ma'am.
Building relationship and networking.
Again.
Yes, ma'am.
Relationship.
There's another nugget, relationship. When we talk about networking, right, we talk about intentional relationships. Building intentional relationships. So how many nuggets so far? I don't know about you, but I'm catching some nuggets.
Yeah, I'm full.
I'm catching some nuggets. Thank you so much, Mr. Russell, for being here. I'm going to go to Ben. And so, Ben, talk to us about, okay, so there was the automobile, but now currently it is the food truck and the good burger that I haven't tasted.
Yes.
Food park.
Yes.
Food park.
Yes.
Food park, and then the burger that I haven't tasted.
Yes.
I'm going to keep saying that.
Plural, with an S. Burgers.
So talk to me about your business. So what is a food park?
The actual food truck park, it consists of about 12 to 13 actual independently owned food trucks.
Okay.
Under one roof. So that's the actual food park. The vision, I was actually selling cars, but the vision was in a dream that I owned 30 Simply Good Burgers. And Killeen Food Park was actually a byproduct. So I thought about the location. I thought about, I definitely want Simply Good Burgers at the location, but I then thought about how can I amplify other people at my location as well. So that's where the concept of having the other food trucks there, because my vision was set in play, which I know I was actually going to do it. But then I turned and I said to myself, okay, now how can I do something greater than me? So that's when we came up, me and my brother, my wife Sabrina, we actually came up, okay, this is what we can do. And we just went face into it.
You just did it. You leaped. You leaped, essentially.
You can't think about it. You just got to do it.
So I heard Ben say that you leaped. You can't think about it. You just have to do it. Right? And that segues right into my next question. We heard a little bit about you, Nancy, about just looking at everybody working around you and thinking, I can't do this for the next 10 or 16 years. And so I would ask, that would be for Bruce and Ronnie, how did you know that you were ready to start a business? And then what was the process? What did you do?
I knew I was ready to start a business when I saw everybody else that was successful. I saw them making it, and I said, if they can do it, I can do it. And so I began to position myself, and really, I just jumped in because, you know, I felt like if they can do it, I can do it. So I positioned myself, you know, I kind of got my finances together a little bit in the sense that I learned the trade a little bit because I first started off as an agency director, insurance, financial planning, and doing that. And from that practice, I was able to recruit agents around the country and had, you know, a pretty decent sized agency that was able to recruit agents and things of that nature. So basically just jumped in. You know, I learned, I had a good mentor, and my mentor kind of showed me the ropes. And when I got groomed enough, he kind of let me go and let me have the reins. And so once I got the reins, I was able to start making money, and that money lasted for a long time.
I heard another nugget. Did you hear that nugget?
I did, and I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So will you explain to the listeners, watchers, whatever, that explain to them about, how can I put this nicely, not becoming a millionaire working for someone, that you'll become a millionaire as an entrepreneur?
Yes. Again, you'll never get rich working for somebody else.
Right.
And so because you're working for somebody else, you're only going to make what they want you to make.
Right.
And so if that income is, you know, $30,000, $50,000, whatever it is, that's what you're going to make. And, you know, the most successful people in the world get paid commissions. So when you look at doctors, they get paid commissions. Lawyers, they get paid commissions. Salespeople, highly successful salespeople get paid commissions. So when you talk about the people that are making all the money, it's those people that are working for themselves. And most of the people that get paid commissions are working for themselves. They're entrepreneurs.
I noticed that a lot of people who I meet, they're so satisfied with having a job, and their big thing is, oh, I have salary, I'm on salary, and they're not realizing that, like you said, that's as far as they'll let you go. Whatever increase they give you incrementally, it may be annual, or yearly, or every 5 years, that's as high as they will allow you to go. But, I know a lot of people, they get settled in that, I have a set salary, type thing, so.
And that's okay, because, we're groomed to be that way. We go to school, we get taught to go to school, to make good grades, to work for somebody else. And that's how society has groomed us. But did you know that out of your entire paycheck, when you work for a salary, about 25% of it, meaning the first 4 months, goes to paying taxes. Goes to paying taxes. So if you, when you think about it, if you make, 100,000, 25,000 of that went to paying taxes. If you work for commission and work for yourself and become a business owner, you will have made every dime of that, and then you can use tax strategies or business strategies to have legitimate write-offs. And so if you want to play the game, you got to know the rules to the game. If you don't know the rules to the game, legitimate write-offs, of course.
Not 10 kids.
No.
Not 10 of your nieces and nephews and the lady next door.
Understanding the ethics of business.
Legitimate write-offs.
So here's another nugget, understanding the ethics of business. I also heard Bruce said having a mentor. Right? Having a mentor and then learning your craft. Learning your craft. What I have seen sometimes, and I'm sure each of you can attest to that, someone getting into business without an understanding of business ethics, business acumen, and even the process of business, and then feeling completely overwhelmed and given up without truly giving it a real shot. And so, Mr. Russell, talk to us about when you knew you were ready. You're in the military, you're wearing the uniform, you're doing your push-ups every morning.
Around the city.
You're driving around the city getting lost. How did you know, I am ready to start a business? And I want you to tell somebody, because I know somebody is sitting out there and they have a thought in their head of a business that they might want to start, but they just don't know how to start, the how. How did you know you were ready?
Honestly, when my gifts made room for me.
Say that again so they can hear it in the back row.
When my gifts made room for me, because out of my 22 years in the military, they take you through so many leadership schools. And you are a leader to soldiers, and you are also a soldier. But you learn so many different skills in uniform.
That's true.
That you have the ability to transition out of uniform. And those actually begin to strengthen my gifts. I know I'm a gatherer. I know that I'm a shepherd. There's a big difference between a leader and a shepherd. Because if I call out and I do a post, people flock towards that post because that's the nature of a shepherd. So when my gifts begin to make room for me, and as I began to connect with other individuals, then I was like, I don't need to work for anyone else anymore, because my gifts wasn't given to me to give to you. My gifts was given to me on purpose. And as I began to work those gifts and create structural foundations and to go and to register, not as a sole proprietor, because I know I wasn't staying I wasn't created to be solo. So I went straight into a S Corp and created that, because I knew that eventually I'm going to create a holistic point of view of owning a business. So when my gifts made room for me, I knew that once I retired out of uniform, it was time for me to go work, not for someone, but to work for me, so I can then assist others in understanding that there is a process, but you have to be tried and true within that process, because as you learn in and during your process, it's like your input. After your input is given to you, you have to understand what's that throughput. That's that process. And as you understand that throughput, you have to then change the ability for someone else Because once your output goes into someone else's ears, they have nothing else but the responsibility of doing better than what they've done, because you have already worked through that, and then you've given them that. And that's pretty much why I do what I do, because my gifts was given to me on purpose. My purpose was given to me on purpose, not by mistake.
Yeah.
And as my gifts made room for me, I just duplicated that process, and I'm able to sit with different type of industry and not having to be in that industry. Because it is the nature of building relationships.
Yeah, that's good. So you truly is, not only is he the gatherer, he's the networker, he's also the connector. That is your gift, that is your purpose of bringing everybody together. And so truly understanding what is your purpose, what is your gift, and what is your talent. Because sometimes people try to operate in somebody else's gift and somebody else's talent, because they see somebody else can do it. They want to duplicate it, and that's not what they were necessarily called to do, what they were purposed to do. Right? And so you're all now in business. You've been in business. You took the leap. You listened to your mentors, right? You studied your craft. You're in your business, and challenges happen. What are some of the challenges? Because I know 34 years, it has not been all butterflies, roses, sunshine, and cotton candy. That you've had to have some pickles in there at some point. It's been all good. And I think people get into business, and then as soon as they get they stump their toe against a rock, it's, I don't know if I'm going to make it. And so how have you, well, first of all, what are some of the challenges that you have had to overcome in your business relationship or your business life?
People.
Ooh,
Jesus.
It's always people.
Jesus.
Everything is the people. You know, you have challenges to learn how to work.
Just slain at the altar.
You have challenges to learn how to work with people, because people are your business.
Right.
And you can't do business without people.
Because you're in the business
because
of people.
we're in the business of people. And so everything just boils down to the people. But what I've truly learned is that everyone has a sign around their neck that says, make me feel important. And I've learned to become an encourager, although my mom said that I've done that all my life. But I feel like I have learned to become an encourager, because people just need to be encouraged. And when you treat people with kindness, dignity, and respect, then you get that same thing back most of the time. And if someone does come a little sideways, it's because they have issues and they're hurting. So what I do is I try not to take that personally. So
have you always been that way, though? Because we're talking about almost 35 years now. What about year 2, year 3? You're trying to get this business going, and now people, year one, and then people are being people. How did you? What did you do? And what I'm looking for is a practical application for somebody who probably wants to get into business, but they may have some challenges with people. How do they get over that hump?
You know what? It's really more simpler than you think. Take care of yourself first. Take care of yourself first. Because when you take care of yourself, then you don't feel like you're being used by other people. So I always took care of myself first. And one thing that my mentor shared with me, speaking of mentors, one thing that my mentor shared with me was, with the bad acne, and I was just like, people saying that, no one's going to buy anything from me because of the way that my face looked. And so I was just kind of feeling a little insecure. And so I went to have a consultation with her, and she goes, first of all, no one's paying that much attention to you. People are concerned about about themselves.
Their own skin,
She says, so the quicker you realize that it's not about you and that it's truly about the people, then you'll be more successful. And really, I go by nuggets. You ever hear like phrases and they just change?
I love nuggets.
Yes, and I could tell you were just nuggets. But it's those little things that just help me. Treat other people with kindness, dignity, and respect.
That's good.
Treat everyone like they have a sign around their neck that says, make me feel important.
So it's self-care and then daily affirmations.
I have a question for you, but I want to ask Ben a question before I forget. Now, I've read or I've heard somewhere, and I don't know if it's true because I didn't do any research on it, but they say that every restaurant or food service business, goes out of business within 1 year. How did you maintain for that year?
Honestly, I focused on people. I actually been focusing on people my whole adult life, even from selling cars. Every process was just prepping me for where I'm at right now. So when I went from the car business to the food business, I just took my customer service skills and actually put it in the actual food industry, which it was lacking.
Yeah.
So once I did that, everything kind of became easier, because if I'm dealing with somebody that's making the second biggest purchase of their life on a daily basis into the food business, I just treat them exactly the way I treated other people.
Customer service.
Over time. So it doesn't matter how good your food is or how good it look. If your customer service is terrible, then you will go out of business.
That's a good nugget.
That's another nugget right there. And it sounds a lot like what Miss Nancy's saying, treating everybody like there's a rope around their neck? That's a sign.
I say rope.
A sign around their neck.
Hanging low. A sign hanging low.
Yeah.
That says,
So
make
that you
me
can
feel
read it.
important. Okay, I like that.
But then
so
also I have
customer service.
I have another question. Now, with Mary Kay, I know Mary Kay has been around for years. You've been in it for 35 years yourself. But tell me, how does Mary Kay stay competitive with all the other brands that are more popular, especially amongst the younger makeup artists who are the ones who are heavily involved in that field? How does Mary Kay stay competitive?
Because we're often imitated and never duplicated. Often imitated. We are the leaders. We are the leaders. So to us, there are no competitors.
Okay.
When you have great skincare and you have great color cosmetics and you have great people teaching, I share with the women all the time that are good with cosmetics and good with that kind of thing to, work your business. Join a company that's already doing it.
Yeah.
Because to be around for 57 years, you couldn't have stuck around that long if you were staring people wrong.
Right.
So,
And there's so many new cosmetic brands coming about like every day, who, like you said, they aren't tested and, they may be here today and gone tomorrow. But Mary Kay has just weathered the storm, for 50 something years. So I always wondered, what demographics do you feel Mary Kay markets towards? Is it older women or younger women or just women in general or just anybody?
I think it's really across the board. I really think it's across the board. I have customers as young as 12 years old and, as old as 90, so it's just really each individual consultant, building her own clientele.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think truly loving the brand, right?
Yeah.
Loving what you do, loving your brand, and then having that relationship with your customers. That's what I'm getting. All these nuggets from you. And customer service as well, Ben. And so, Mr. Russell, same question. What are some of the challenges? Because I would imagine just coming out of the military, being new into the Texas area, you're driving hey diddle and yonder.
What is
Hey diddle and yonder.
That's a nugget.
Just over the river and through the woods, trying to get people to be part of the Texas Black Pages, that you had to have had some pushback, right? And some challenges. How did you say, you know what, I'm wasting my gas, nobody's paying, because I would imagine you were putting your own dollars, right, into your gas, into the wear and tear of your vehicle to start up this business. What kept you going, and what were some of the challenges that you had?
Time management, really.
Right.
Okay. So the challenge was time management?
Correct.
That's good.
Okay.
Because you know why you're doing it.
Right.
But often a lot of people don't know why you're doing it. So I had to look at it from a kind of like what she was saying, I'm not competing. I don't compete with anyone. Even to this day, I don't care who it is. I won't compete with you because I compete with what I just got finished doing.
Yeah.
The last time I got finished doing it. And that's my competition. Because I firmly live by 3 pillars, which is never compete, never compare, never complain.
That's good.
Because as I'm moving
nugget.
within what I'm doing, That's plagiarism.
Okay, so we'll wait till he posts it, and then we'll just share
I'm
it.
gonna see that cash out invoice.
We'll wait till he posts it, and then we'll share it.
We'll share
remember,
it.
he has followers.
Right. I mean, really, those are my 3 pillars of success. Never compete, never compare, never complain.
Yeah.
Don't compete with
good.
anyone. Just compete with what you just got finished doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Never compare yourself to anyone else because you don't know their story. Your
Yes,
story is
that's
yours.
good.
Don't complain about what you don't have if you haven't done anything to do something different.
Yeah, yeah.
So never compete, never compare, never complain. So I wasn't complaining while I was driving. I wasn't trying to compete with any other directory that was out there because I knew what my gift was and I knew what my purpose was. So I knew in order for me to get it, I had to physically go get it and go and sit with people who didn't know me, to go sit with people who did not look like me, but I was okay in doing that because my vision had provisions before I even got to the destination.
You better say that
And
again.
because I knew that, I had to say, okay, I need to manage my time. What am I going to do before I drive?
Yeah.
What am I going to do once I get there? And once I leave from there, how and when am I going to follow up? Meaning whether it's a phone call, whether it is an email, all of that stuff has to deal with time management, and I'm still dealing with it now.
Yeah.
Managing time. Like
Yeah.
with Texas Black Pages, I did not make any money the first 4 years,
Wow.
but I was okay with that. I didn't start making money with Texas Black Pages until this year.
Wow.
So you were putting money in, but not getting any returns.
It's an investment.
Right.
So you were investing. Oh my goodness,
That's good.
Ronnie, you
That's
have
hard.
given us so many nuggets.
Nuggets.
So many nuggets. I'm going to need some of these nuggets
It's
for us to.
$19.95.
I'm going to need some of these nuggets. I hope you are still there. I hope you are watching because you are definitely going to learn something awesome and remarkable on this show tonight. I know you have already gotten some nuggets, and we have more nuggets for you. We're going to take a short break to give you this announcement, and we will be right back. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Here
And we are back. Welcome to Overcomers Talk. I am so excited about the panel that we have here tonight. We're talking about overcoming the fear in business. And I'm Minister Carrie Ann Frazier, your host for this evening. My co-host is Dr. Sharita McQueen.
Hello.
The lovely, the delightful.
Hello.
And we are joined by a panelist of our local business individuals. We have been having an awesome conversation about business. Reminding you our panel tonight is Miss Nancy Petaway, Mr. Richard Bruce, Mr. Ronnie Russell, and Mr. Ben O'Neill. And when we left off, we were talking to Mr. Russell about his business, the Texas Black Pages. And Mr. Russell, you shared with us that for the first 4 years, you were driving hey diddle and yonder, retired from the military, putting gas in your vehicle, going everywhere in your purpose, not making any money.
Zero profit.
Zero profits. Now, I know somebody out there, for 4 years, somebody out there sitting has been in business for 6 months, and you are ready to quit.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not making what you thought you should be making in 6 months. Ronnie, talk to us about that process of you keep on going even though you're not making money.
Right. Again, for me, is knowing my purpose.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'm not concerned if you know my purpose or not, because you didn't give it to me.
Yeah.
And
oh, that's good. Say it again.
Listen, right? It's Bible study.
I'm gonna need to. I need a notebook with you.
I mean, that's when it became a lot easier for me to manage, because I wasn't doing it for anyone else's gratification. I was doing it to assist those who did not know anyone else.
Right.
And as it began to grow, I was okay with. Well, let me take that back.
I have a question.
I dealt with it a whole lot different than not making a profit.
Yeah.
Because now, was I making money? Yes. Two totally different things.
Yeah,
Making a profit and making money.
Two different things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So
you were making enough money to put back into it to continue.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, it was recycled money.
Right.
You know, and as I made money, it went right back into the gas tank.
Business. Yeah.
Right. And that is, and I'll be transparent. Like if I go, I was also doing Lyft.
Okay.
Right. So I would drive to Dallas and I would do Lyft for about 6 hours. I just did mostly airport pickups. I'll do Lyft for 6 hours, make $200, and then that would take care of my hotel and my food. Because I was like, okay, how do I stop spending my money?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So I went up there and I was doing that. And I'm like, man, if I do that here, hey, my next meeting in Houston, I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I would go to Houston the day before, make my rounds to where I'm no longer spending a lot of my money. I was spending other people's money because they needed a service for me to do. And I started spending other people's money.
So you were already in those cities.
Correct.
That's smart.
And I drive around like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not going to pull my card out for anything.
That's so smart.
You became
I'm going to
innovative.
make it.
Yeah.
You became innovative because you understood your purpose.
Right.
Right? Because I'm sure you had a lot of naysayers tell you, okay, what you're doing is crazy. Or there's already a Texas, there's already a Black Pages.
Right.
Why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? This is what I have to tell you. There are 10 nail shops on the same block.
Come on now. Beauty supply stores.
There is a Chevron, a Shell, and what's the other one? Exxon, all on the same corner.
And some mom and pop ones in there.
Yes, and a Mickey's. And a Mickey's.
Yeah.
All right.
Mickey's is local.
They have the best
Mickey's
coffee.
is local. So, Mr. Bruce, you were about to say something.
I like to say that you know, you don't realize how important it is to work for free.
Yeah.
Because when you work for free, you start to you realize that it's worth its weight in gold. Because when you work for free, guess what? It's like being an intern.
Yeah.
You desire having that even more. And then the trial and error that you get from working for free will help you when your business starts really producing.
Because you're practicing.
Now, I have a question about that.
It's hard. It's hard.
I have a question. Now, when does working for free become counterproductive. How long will you go working for free? How long does that last? Because if you start working for free and people know you for working for free, they're expecting you're in year 5. Oh, but you did it for me last year for free. So when does that
it's
become?
the language. We have to change our language. You have to offer complimentary services. Complimentary services begins the development of an upsell.
That's good.
So if I'm offering you a complimentary service,
Gotcha.
correct. If I'm offering you a complimentary service, don't look at me different when I send you an invoice the next time I do something because I did it as a compliment to you. But if I'm doing it for free, then you're going to always think my services are free.
For free.
And it devalues you in your service.
It really does because the hardest people that really get, to me, the people that get hit the hardest are creatives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Creatives, people think, oh, that's not a job.
That's a whole different show.
Business. So as a creative, there is a service that I offer, and that service comes with a fee.
Yeah.
So I would say begin to change the language.
That's good.
Offer complimentary services. And as you offer complimentary service, then the next time you can follow up with an invoice because they knew it wasn't free.
Right. And
it
what
was
do they
complimentary.
do?
It was a compliment.
They'll get that first complimentary service.
Correct.
And then you won't see them again.
You have to be okay with that.
Okay.
Sometimes Sometimes you have to understand that the skill set that you're learning, because the skill set that you've all talked about, people skills. We don't realize that that's a real skill set. You know, we spend so much time trying to focus on everything else that we forget that people skills is a skill set. And if they don't like you, they're not going to like what you got, what you have to sell, what product you have. So people have to like you. And if you're not likable, as Ben was saying, they're not going to buy what you have.
Right.
And so you start to understand that the more you're working and doing things with a complimentary service.
Right.
And nothing is free. Everything costs somebody something. It might be free to you, but it's not free to the person that is offering it. They're just doing it as a service.
Yeah. Good nuggets. Yes, Ben.
Another thing is like, you have to actually know know where you're going. You say, how can you go 3 or 4 years and not make any money? Because you're trusting your navigation. So a lot of times we go into something that's not our vision. And when hard times come, we're quick to leave it because it's not ours in the first place. So me personally, I had to trust the process. Sometimes the process hurt. You know, I was making $130,000 a year to go to little to nothing.
Wow.
You know, in a dealership, I mean, we was doing $3, $4, $5 million a year and not making any money.
Wow.
Or making little that I had to kind of keep in reserve. So you have to trust that process because if you don't,
that's
you
another
will stop.
nugget. That process, trusting the process.
That's true. In your current, and this is for all of you, in your current professions, how many times did you want to quit? Did you say, I'm quitting, this is it, I'm not doing this anymore?
Me personally, I have to train my mind. I have to think, okay, my back is always against the wall. So I have no choice. I have to because if you allow your mind to wander, then you start thinking of alternative businesses, alternative different things. So me personally, I don't have a choice. So I have to keep moving forward. I have to train my mind like that.
That's good.
So you trained your mind to say you will not think that.
That's right.
Yes.
You will not think that. What about you, Ronnie?
I took away the option.
Okay.
You have to take that option away.
Yeah, take the option.
Because if the
Quitting
option
is not an option.
on, correct. So if the option is on a table, it's like placing options on a table and you bring a 2-year-old in the room. The 2-year-old is going to take the options that are on the table. But if you take the options away and you put the 2-year-old in the room, then the 2-year-old has to create in the room. So I took those options away. And the only thing that I had to execute from there is forward progress. And we have to develop that onward mobility without developing the onward mobility. then you're not going to be able to create because you have to develop before you create. Development is within the state of mind. Then as you begin to take those steps that are forward, then you understand that it is in my nature to navigate. We were always natural navigators. Whether we were walking and looking at the North Star, whether we were in a ship looking at the North Star, whether whether we were walking as a guide to someone else, like for those that are prior military, you're walking with a compass, you're navigating. We're natural navigators, but how we dictate our moves, which makes us different.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I still want to hear
that's
their
good.
That was never an option for me.
Never an option. Okay, not an option, not an
I'm
option.
realizing that that's the key to success.
Ironically,
take away the options.
Yeah, my way of thinking was optimism. And so to say quit wasn't part of that optimism scale of I can do it, and I can achieve my goal, and then setting the end goal and then actually achieving that goal. And so it wasn't an option.
It wasn't an option.
Awesome.
Retraining my mind. Not an option, not an option. How about you, Miss Nancy?
I didn't have anything
was
to go
having
back
too
to. I didn't have anything.
She said, I didn't have anything. I quit my job.
I didn't have anything to go back to.
No options.
Yeah.
And and honestly, if I can just speak from an independent part instead of like a company part, because company, there's a lot of legal things that go with being, having, being able to say certain things, especially like things I don't even know, like let me get legal on the phone to see. But if I could talk about me personally, I had nothing to fall back on.
Right.
Because I had learned this skill set and it was fun and I woke up every morning and I was excited about doing it. So there was not a time when I thought, oh, let me find a job. But can I also say something? Because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, and especially entrepreneurs that are trying to enrich the lives of other people and get them to understand entrepreneurship. Some people are called to jobs. You know what I'm saying? People need to work.
Leaders.
I wouldn't want to just walk in the department store and have to figure out what I'm supposed to put on. I'm glad that there's somebody there
that can help you
offer
out.
that service.
That's good. That's
I don't want to
good.
go to McDonald's and have to go back there and flip my
Go
own
to the
burgers.
ER.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad that there's somebody there that can do that. And a lot of times I think when you're an entrepreneur and especially if you're in a business where you can bring other people into that business and show them, and you see people with such great potential, such great skills, and you're just like, like, come on. But I always realized that people are called to different things.
That's right.
And if everybody was in business for themselves, then
We would have no customers.
we'd still be locked. We'd still be lacking.
What a weird world that would be.
We'd still be lacking a lot, you know. So that's one of those things when you say, you give of your service. That's why when I personally go into a store, I always have something to give. I don't just give my business card. I give my business card and a treat.
Gotcha.
Because I'm grateful and thankful, as we have all learned during during the pandemic, of who's really essential.
Yeah.
And who is not.
Yeah.
Really.
When we went to, when we stepped inside HEB and they were in there and the food was there, or when my husband did, because my mind I couldn't wrap my brain around it. But you see who is really essential. And it has really opened up my eyes to understand that those people who are really essential, that when push come to shove, you really see, I've always had respect for them, but I have a whole different level of respect for them now. And anything that I can do personally for them, I will just do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
For
And
free.
that's a perfect segue. That is.
For free.
That is. And that is such a perfect segue, talking about the current pandemic that we are still in, and that is COVID-19. One of the things that I saw is quite a bit of businesses, particularly the businesses of marginalized populations, were adversely affected throughout the nation. Each of you have your businesses. How did COVID impact your business?
Made it better.
It
made it
did.
better.
It made it better.
Didn't
It made it better. Okay.
And it's funny when you say that, but it's like, I'm just looking like, what do y'all get? Like, really?
Yeah.
Because once you have time to focus,
Yeah.
You know, we're all over the place. And when you're in business, you're all over the place. You're doing everything trying to get your business out there. But when you just stop and centered and get focused, you realize, wow,
what I can do.
it really did not take all that I was doing. And now you learn how to strategically do things 100% better than you did before.
Wow.
That's good.
Time
That's
management.
good. Yeah, that time, going back to that time management.
back to time
Yes,
management.
Ben?
Well, to me, we increase
Right.
a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
But at the same
lot.
time, once you know it's what's happening, it's amazing how your mind begin to change and think of different ways to elevate,
Absolutely.
even in a
To
crisis.
be innovative.
Yes. So I know, okay, a lot of people's not going to be out, so let me sign up with DoorDash, Uber Eats, all the delivery service to continue to have business, even though people are not actually coming through the door. And a little bit of luck, the actual food trucks is kind of right in the middle of that. So we're always to go.
Yeah.
So we kind of fell right in between.
perfect.
So when other people were shut down, we were
You were still open.
Yes, we were pretty
And
busy.
you know, I was still able to do no contact delivery,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
Leave it on the door.
Because, you know, no matter what's going on, alcohol, tobacco, and cosmetics is happening. Right? We don't care what. And now that everyone is masking, you know,
On Zoom. Everybody's on Zoom.
and everybody is wearing a mask,
Yeah.
you know, now, you know, skincare more than ever. You know,
Right.
people need skincare more than ever. But finding those creative, innovative ways, you know, and I loved it. When this all first happened, I really didn't know what to do because I wasn't that great on social media or even in the whole tech world. I've learned so much now. I could probably teach a class, but at first I was not. So I didn't know really like what to do. So I was just calling everybody, hey, this is me. You need some toilet paper? Are y'all doing all right over there? You know, and making the deliveries and being able to just wave. And back to what we were saying again, it's just people knowing that you care. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's good.
So what I think the theme that I hear is being able to shift. Right?
100%.
Being able to shift, being able to
Make that
adjust,
pivot.
pivot, and then develop some innovative ideas to remain relevant.
Right.
Right? To remain relevant. Would that be
Yes,
correct, Mr.
I
Bruce?
agree. And,
Absolutely.
you know, the truth is, it elevated my mind, and I saw opportunities. You know, when the COVID-19 happened, when everybody had to get locked down, I saw that it was as a time for opportunities. And although I had to shift and learn how to do the Zoom calls and do meeting for face-to-face when you're talking about financial and estate planning products, it's more face-to-face because no more door knocking, no more going to see them. You have to innovate. But I looked for other opportunities, you know, and during that time, we were able to start a couple other business ventures. You know, I was able to partner with some other people in the church, and we started Syntex Disinfectant Sanitizing. And so we were
No, what's that? So that's another business?
Yes, ma'am. And so I serve as the chief financial officer for that company. And, you know, fortunate enough, we were able to help people sanitize their sanctuaries and their churches and schools and things of that nature.
Innovative.
Innovative, yeah. So we had to pivot. And, you know, when you look at other opportunities, you know, just always looking for opportunities because some people see a mountain and other people see a molehill. So it depends on what you see. If you see a molehill, then it won't be hard to move that mountain. But if you see a mountain, it's going to be hard to move
That's
it.
good.
That's another nugget. Did you hear that other nugget? So if you see a molehill or a mountain, which one can you move? I like it. I just went ahead and I just cut that really short.
Tell the mountain to move.
Carrie Ann,
yes.
you know one other thing that social media and the internet and all of that, it has allowed us to reach people that we would have never reached before.
Everyone's online.
Like
Yeah.
everywhere. I mean, friends that we have made over this time has just been remarkable.
Yeah.
It really has. And we would have never done that.
And part of it, again, is being innovative, being able to adjust. And there's so many, many nuggets. Getting a mentor, how important it is to having that mentorship, understanding your craft, learning the business, and then being disciplined through the process.
Staying focused.
Staying focused, and also quitting is not an option.
No options.
Quitting is not an option.
Take away the options.
But obviously, there's some challenges.
Yes.
So what have been some of the toughest challenges for you in business? Besides the people, you talked about the people. What are some of the challenges? Because I know there are people out there watching who says, okay, we hear you, that sounds great, but it's just hard. It's hard for me to get going or understand finances or even navigate through technology. What are some of those challenges that you've had besides people?
I think the lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. That's
the lack
good.
of knowledge can destroy your business before you start. Whatever you're going to go in, you have to study your craft. That is an absolute must. YouTube is the best tool ever.
Yes, indeed, right?
University of YouTube.
You can learn a lot from YouTube. So whatever you do, you have to study it. You have to study it. Whether it's how to start an LLC. I mean, don't go out and pay people thousands of dollars to start something, and it takes 5 minutes to do.
That's good. That's really good, because I see a lot of people starting up their company and they're paying this astronomical prices, right, for a website.
Oh, yes.
When all they need is a Facebook page. And so,
but I'll do it. I'll do it.
But before that, what I'm saying is because they're probably a month into the business with no product, with nothing really built up. And so what is the process? And I'm going to ask Mr. IBCC right here, because I know that you have some good teachings. I have an idea for a business. I want to launch my business. What is the process? How do I get from A to B? Because I see people who have an idea and immediately they have a website with an idea, but not the practical business itself.
That's backwards.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, it's the research. Before I would tell anyone to launch their business, I would say,
so step one, research.
Correct. Because when you're doing your research, that's where you begin to really develop your feasibility.
So when we say research, I want to break it down out there for someone. When we say research, we're talking about market analysis. What are we talking about? Let's break it down.
That is within the fabric of it. Your market analysis, to where you look at one, what entity do you want to start your business at? You know, with an MLM, you're going to come in as an IBO, but it's still a business. But if you're coming in as a small business owner, oftentimes most of them start out as a sole proprietor.
Yeah.
But for me, I always tell them, when you start working with other people and you have employees, you have to change that entity that you previously registered with, because now there's no buffer between what you have and what you have.
Yeah.
It's what everybody's going to get, because you're still a sole proprietor. There's still businesses right now that I know that's a sole proprietor. When I communicate with them, I'm going to get it done. Okay, when?
Wow.
So how does somebody starting off understand that? Do they need to get an attorney, an accountant? How do they get that basic information?
They have to sit with people.
Yeah.
First, do the research. Second, find someone that may be in that industry. Third, go to an organization that understands more about them. Like you have SCORE, where they assigned you a counselor that may be in that industry, or you have a chamber of commerce that may be able to connect you with other people that are doing workshops, or connect you with someone that is within that. And with Texas Workforce Solution, to where they're able to sit you down with someone that's in that industry. So you have to understand that communication is going to be the key. That is going to put you in a position to learn more and to always maintain that student mentality.
You know, one thing I learned in business was someone gave me this advice, and it was the best advice I ever got. He told me to never allow someone to do something for me that I did not know how to do myself.
Yeah.
And so I always think about that before I pay someone or before I ask someone to do something.
Figure out how to do it
Let me
yourself.
learn it myself. So, and then once I learn it myself, I don't need that person anymore. But I had to learn to do things myself.
Right.
That's good.
And write it out. You know,
Write
they say,
out that plan.
write
That's
the vision
biblical.
out.
Yeah.
Write the vision
Yes.
and make it plain.
Right, because one of the things that we teach at IBCC, which you have your PPE, but what we teach in PPE is plan, prepare, and execute. Because
Plan,
in your
prepare, and execute.
It's copyrighted.
right, because yes, $14.95. Right, but in your preparation, what are you doing in a planning phase?
Yeah.
Each one of them is a particular phase. Honestly, that came from Army Doctrine 5, I think it's ADP 5.0. A lot of it I extract from military doctrine, curve it with some civilian, stuff like that. So with the PPE, so in the planning phase, what do I want to know? And in your preparation phase, what do I know that I know?
Yeah.
And then in the execution phase, how am I going to do from what I know and how I'm going to go about and doing it? But in between each phase, you have to create and develop an assessment.
Yeah.
Before you go to the next phase.
Do you guys hear that? So listen, you just got this for free, okay? You literally just went to Business School 101 for free. So when you have that plan, you have that idea for that business, you need to sit down, you need to write a plan, a comprehensive plan. That is your vision, right? And then you assess that plan. And that is, how feasible is it for me to actually get this done? How many businesses like this is it in this area? Is this a need, right? Is it a need in this area? And then who can help me meet that need? Then the next phase. Prepare. So who can help me? Maybe I need to join the chamber. Maybe I need to go to some business meetings. Maybe I need to look for grants. Maybe I need to look for businesses that I can partner with, right? Maybe I need to do some further research into, do I want to have an LLC? Do I want to have an S Corp? Do I want to have, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go research it. All right? And so then the next thing is to execute, right? Assess. Stop. Do another assessment. And then you need to go and execute that plan and then assess again. But throughout everything, networking.
Correct.
Networking is a critical part of business. No man is an island. You cannot do business alone. You cannot be a solo show. What would you say? I got that correct?
Networking.
Networking.
Another term. It's copyrighted, I'm sure.
It is. It's 1995. Right. Networking is leveraging your relationships.
Did you hear that?
Right. Because you have your network and then you have your net worth. Right. You have your network and you have your net worth. But then as you begin to execute networking, that means I am leveraging my relationships and my resources along with your relationship and your resources. Because there's a difference between being resourceful and having resources. It's like, who do you give those resources to? That is being resourceful.
That's good. That's good. Oh my goodness, this is good. This is good. Thank you so much, Ben. You look like you about to say something. What you got to say?
It's. I mean, like you were saying, your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
So when I went from the car business to the food business, it didn't matter what I transferred to, because my social currency just came with me.
I like that word, my social currency. Did you hear that?
I like that.
Because
Absolutely.
If you were supporting me in the car business, now they're supporting me even more in the food business. But it's all because of that relationship. If you are good to people, it don't matter if you saw them 10 years ago or 2 minutes ago. It will come back. It all goes into a circle.
Remember that.
Yes.
So it goes back to what you and Nancy said at the very beginning, is how you treat people.
Definitely.
Is the customer service portion of it.
Because they may not remember. They may not remember what you did for them, but they'll always remember how you made them feel.
How you made them feel.
They will always remember how you made them feel.
That's good.
On the biggest problem, I think one of the biggest problems that a lot of people don't pay attention to is marketing. With a stalemate, what prevents a lot of businesses from going anywhere is because no one knows you're there.
Yeah.
And because you're not able to market.
Yes.
That's
And so
good.
if you could figure out how to market the right way.
Because there's a right and a wrong way to market, right? And it's understanding algorithms. I learned that word.
No, just get it out there. just
get it out there.
Just get it out there from the beginning.
And then sort it out later.
Exactly. Because you know what? When you're new in business, I remember when I was new in business and didn't know anything. I mean, literally did not know anything. I just started putting it out there, putting it out there.
How?
Just by talking to
because
people.
Facebook didn't there was
none of
no
existed.
Facebook or cell phones back then.
I'm going to tell you, the first party I did, I was yelling across the balcony to my neighbor. That's how I did my first party.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, girl, you want makeup?
I was like, hey.
Wow.
You know, it's crazy.
What are y'all doing? I see you're home during the day.
I believe you, too.
No, it's the truth. It's the truth. And one thing just led to another. Because when you try to wait until you know everything, you're not going to know everything, but you will always run into people that will help you to be better.
So that's the leap.
Yeah, you just get out there.
Then.
Like if you have an ideal or something you want to do, just jump out there and do it. You never know until you try.
That's true.
Yeah. Ben?
You know, it's crazy when I first met her. Even though I own the food park and she coming to buy my burgers, she made me feel welcome in her presence.
Wow.
So
and she's coming to your business.
And she's coming to my. I was supposed to feel that way. Now it didn't matter where the next time I meet her. I mean, when I saw her in there, I'm like, I know you. You might not even know the person's name, but if you have a good experience, first impression with a person, it will. 5-10 years from now, you're gonna forever remember.
Yeah, how
that's
she
why
made you
I say
feel.
Customer service and building rapport with people is necessary.
How she made you feel.
Yes.
So you had an opportunity to try the good burger.
Yes.
Okay. Oh.
The Simply Good Burger.
So I'm still on this burger. Just so you would know. Which one did you?
I had the single decker, and my husband had like the double, triple decker.
They're double and triple deckers.
Nah, yes,
I had the single burger.
Oh wow! I'm definitely interested in coming to try your burger. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna call you before I come. What would you tell yourself from everything you know now? What would you tell your younger self first starting out in business? If you could go back and tell yourself something, what would you tell yourself?
I would probably tell my younger self, relax.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not that serious.
Okay.
It's not that serious.
I was going to say the same thing. Don't put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times we're so anxious to be successful that we gravitate to so much. And like I said, everything's not for everybody. And, you know, I've been fortunate to be involved with a lot of different opportunities. I mean, from the IFC to women's sports, you know, to Crab Kings. I'm currently the president of Crab Kings Food Chain.
That's another business.
You're right, correct. and you know, ironically, everything's not for everybody.
Right.
But I was so anxious and see opportunities with everything that sometime, especially in my younger days, I didn't know when to say no. You know, because I just saw the opportunity.
Right.
And sometime again, those opportunities will get you in a lot of trouble if you don't know what you're doing.
Okay.
But at the same time, they can be prosperous. So you just got to be careful.
Discernment.
Mr. Ben and I were talking in the back when he first came. And another thing that I would tell my younger self, you mean younger in business?
Younger in business.
Younger in business, I would tell myself to always pay yourself.
Pay yourself first.
Something.
Yes.
Something.
Right.
Okay.
It's a poor person that'll spend every dime they make. Always pay yourself something.
Yeah.
Even in the beginning.
Yes.
Even in the beginning.
So how would you tell Ronnie to pay himself when he was,
You know,
he
Ronnie
was just making enough just to recycle
he
it?
was actually paying
He was
himself.
paying himself.
Okay, how?
He was buying the gas.
He wasn't spending his own money.
But he said he was recycling the money right back into the business.
The money kind of always, it comes in. Okay, like say, for example, if I gave you $10, you have $10. Now, you may need to buy $9.99 worth of stuff,
Right.
But you have the $10,
It was mine.
so it was
Gotcha.
yours.
Okay.
It was yours.
Gotcha.
So I believe that anytime you're selling something and the money transition has taken place, you have money. It's that I don't even know what you call it, but thing that they say, I don't have anything. You have something.
They're looking for profit.
Right.
That's what they're talking about when they say
something.
that. It's more profit.
So just always make sure, and I'm 100%. I tithe, pay myself.
Of course.
Amen.
And then you pay whatever else.
Good.
Then you pay everything.
Okay.
Because from the beginning, a whole lot of stuff may not get paid. All depends
Oh,
on
Jesus.
how you came in.
Okay.
Same question for Mr. Russell. What would you say to your younger self in business?
Just take your time.
Take your time.
Because the first business I ever had was a personal trainer business, and I was a drill sergeant at the same time. And all my time was pushing Joe, but I knew why I went to go and get the businesses, to get the business registered. So I had to create clients,
Right.
and it went from there. But just take your time.
Take your time.
I rushed into it without being a student of the craft at first. I had the craft because I trained Joe all day. But it wasn't the talent that I was it wasn't the gift that I was lacking. It was the talent of actually sitting down and, okay, I'm registered. Okay, I need this. I need that. Do I have documentation? I did not take the time out to ensure that everything was aligned before I actually began to execute. And it made it easier for me to sit down with, people 25 years later, because that was a lesson that was learned. Because it was a lesson that was learned, I can foresee it in someone else's execution because I learned that particular lesson at that time.
That's good.
That's a really good point.
That's good. So I heard, don't take it that serious. Slow down. Trust the process. And then pay yourself first.
Something.
Pay yourself something.
And if it's a
pay
dollar.
yourself something first, even if it's a dollar. Even if it's a dollar. So I know.
Can I say something
Please.
else? Something else that I learned that it took me my whole life to learn, in essence, and bumping my head a lot of times. Doing it the right way. A lot of times we take out kingdom principles. And because we don't have kingdom principles in our life, it's not ingrained in us to tithe. And when we don't tithe, we don't receive.
Right.
But when we tithe and practice kingdom principles, we start to receive the benefits of what the kingdom says you're going to receive. And when I started to apply that in my life, in my business, I couldn't contain the amount of money that I was getting. I could not contain it. I didn't have enough room to put it all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Literally.
Wow. I believe you.
Literally,
but all those businesses, I believe you.
Seriously, if you really want true success, do it God's way.
Yes.
Practice kingdom principles and start tithing.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Kingdom principles. And I know each of you have your own, you have the businesses, families. How do you balance your work life as an entrepreneur and your personal or your family life?
Great question. Great question.
That is the number one question that
only 24 hours.
And especially women, because most of the time women are the ones that are also taking care of the children.
Right.
And then of course, as a wife and a help me. And I just shared to me, I don't think there's ever really a balance. It's just what requires my attention the most.
Yes.
Right. When my children were young, we had nannies, to help take care of the children. In fact, my husband was just saying, I was sharing with him that I have earned the use of a new vehicle, and now this one is going to have 3 rows seating. And
so let's stop right there.
Cadillac?
Let's stop because you've been getting pink Cadillacs every year since.
Well, actually, we earned the use of those cars every 2 years.
Every 2 years since how long?
Since 1989. I've been driving 3 since 1989.
Since 1989. I need y'all to hear this, okay? When we talk about sustainability in business.
They want to get into Mary Kay. The guys want to get into Mary Kay now.
So when we talk about sustainability in business, since 1989, every 2 years, she has been getting a pink,
earning the
use. So that means when you earn the use, you're not paying anything for it.
No.
What about insurance?
Well, a portion, they pay a portion.
They pay a portion of your insurance.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you
I
get
pay a portion of the
But you get a
insurance.
brand new pink Cadillac. This is not used.
Right, it's
A
not
brand new pink Cadillac since 1989
She
every
doesn't
2
even
years.
look like she was in business
Right.
at 1989.
Talk about
I mean,
sustainability.
Wow.
Right? Wow.
Wow,
Please
that's
continue.
big.
Can I drive it?
No.
And you know what I was saying is that I had to always give my attention to whatever needed my
Yeah.
attention. And I said all that to say, I was just sharing with my husband yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, by the way, we just earned the use of another Cadillac, and this is like the mini Escalade. Like this is going to be so awesome. And so I just kind of looked up at him and I said, we need to fill it with some kids. And he was like,
Wow.
we've been married
Like
30
real kids?
Yeah, like kids.
Okay.
And he was like, you can't even take care of kids by yourself. And at first I thought, then I thought, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
right. So, because when the children were young, like really young, the nannies were, able to take them and,
Right.
do whatever. And then when it was time for me to take them to school and bring them home, I was able to do that. But then there was times when the business, I needed to focus in on the business and get that up and going and do what needed to be done. And from that point, I've always just put my time where I felt like it was needed the most.
Awesome.
That's
awesome.
good. Now, we talked a lot about business and we talked a lot about mistakes and, things that we could have done better. But what I want to know is faith. Where does faith fall in to your business life, your home life, balancing, juggling? Where does faith fall in?
I think that's number one. Without faith, it's
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
Okay,
because
so I hear you saying
have it.
faith. Awesome.
Okay.
Ronnie?
Faith takes away quit.
Faith takes away the quit. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's-
I like
that's
that.
pretty much summing up
Faith
what he said
takes
earlier,
Away the
yes.
quit. That's awesome.
That's
Bruce.
good.
You got to have faith because you have to have the faith that can move a mountain into
Right.
the ocean because what you're trying to do hasn't been done before, not by
Right,
you.
right.
And so the greatness of moving that mountain into the ocean takes great faith. It takes the faith of a mustard seed. And if you
Awesome,
just believe,
awesome.
you can do it.
Awesome.
And faith gives you confidence.
Faith gives you confidence.
It does.
Awesome.
Even in the failures.
even
Even in the failure.
even in
Because the
failures.
failures are not really failures. That's just one way it don't
learned.
work.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
Yeah.
the way you look at it.
Yeah.
It's not that I failed. I just found
That
another
didn't
way
work.
that it didn't
Yeah.
work.
That way didn't work.
I tell you, I have
good.
truly enjoyed all of the nuggets that I have received here from you. I truly enjoyed everything that you have imparted to our audience. And I know that you out there have truly learned some nuggets and you have truly, wow. I'm excited. I wrote some things down mentally because I didn't have my pen here with me, and so I definitely know that I learned something in business. As we prepare to close, very briefly, if you would let us know where we can find your food truck or how someone can become a part of IBCC and Bruce, and then how we can also get in contact with you. We'll start over here.
The
Ben.
address is 3101 South Fort Hood Street, Killeen,
Okay.
Texas. That's where the actual food park and Simply Your Burgers is one of the food trucks that's there. And we're opening up a new location, actually of actual brick and mortar in Carpers Cove. And that address is 3101 East Highway 190. And we should be open around end of the year, first to the beginning of the year. So
So
Awesome.
if someone
Awesome.
wanted to have a food truck at your park, how would they get in contact with you?
just contact us at 254-300-1970. And we're actually booked up till January, but after that.
But
yeah,
still
definitely.
contact you.
Right.
Awesome.
Definitely
Very
still
good.
contact.
And how can someone be a part of IBCC or Texas Black Pages?
For those that's interested with joining the Innovation Black Chamber of Commerce, simply go to the website, which is innovation, INNOVATION, BCC.org. And we're about business, veterans, and technology. We do grand openings. Because we also have a spiritual advisor within the chamber, which is Dr. Claudette Scott. And we do ribbon cuttings as well as grand prayer openings, which we have one is actually Tuesday with the 4th 7-Eleven location for the Williams family. So we do grand openings and grand prayer openings.
Awesome.
Because to me that was important.
Yeah.
We'll love to do yours too. Little
Very
hint.
good. Very good.
And just, just be a part. Go to the website and be a part, because to me, it's about teaching.
Awesome, awesome. And how can we learn more about your business, Mr.?
Well, to learn more about our business, you can go to appointedworldwideholdings.com. If you'd like to come to our local office, you can come to our local office at 1604 South W.S. Young, the second floor. We're in the suites on the second floor on W.S. Young.
Very good. And how can someone get in contact with you for direct sales information?
And Facebook.
Okay.
That's probably the easiest way to get in touch with
What's
me.
the Facebook
And so how do we
page?
find you?
Nancy Pettaway.
Nancy Pettaway on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Sharita. Thank you for being my co-host.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Overcomers Talk panel. Next week, Pastor Coffee and First Lady will be back. And we're talking about the church and politics, knowing the power of your vote. Make sure that you are here. The church and politics, knowing the power of your vote. Thank you very much. I have been your host, Minister Carrie Ann Frazier. Good night.
Good night.